Films DVD, I can safely say that there is no bona fide view of the Earth from Apollo 10, as the shot always cuts away or blacks out from interior to exterior. There seem to be plenty of transparencies in this video set. On the other hand, there is also what can be considered gems. With this in mind, we must conclude that some of these views of Earth may have been filmed using a backlit transparency over the window. Others were most likely filmed on Earth in a studio environment, inside a CSM mock-up with a globe outside the window, and then sandwiched between actual flight footage. But finding the answer to how the views of Earth were faked has only asked more questions. Why is it, in multiple circumstances, the audio is uncut, but the video it's running alongside is clearly edited?
And a color for the people over in that area, but probably seeing it in black and white.
If these scenes were broadcast as they were on the Spacecraft Films DVD, then what the world saw wasn't live at all. As any filmmaker knows for a fact, these kinds of edits take place during post-production, not whilst the film is being recorded. It would not have been possible to cut and paste the footage as they were broadcasting it to the world. One might argue that maybe the astronauts cut the camera and then started rolling moments later. However, if that were the case, the audio in the telecasts would also be cut.
Oh, quite a ways to go before we fill up our screen, Tom.
Instead, the dialogue runs synchronized to these videos with no signs of interruption when the video cuts. And the transcript confirms that the video matches the dialogue. The only plausible explanation for this is that these views of Earth were pre-filmed, edited together, and then broadcast with the ground-to-air communications dubbing the video, regardless of the edits.
But probably seeing it in black and white.
In spite of these obvious cuts in the Apollo 10 transmissions, and also the little gem from Apollo 11, the propagandists still insist that, quote, the video from the command module during the coast phase of the voyage was broadcast seamlessly with no breaks or cuts from one camera to another. But clearly, this is not the case.
Probably seeing it in black and white.
The continuous video claim is just another pad to their long, sad and sorry list of lies. Another lie that can be added to the list is Spacecraft Films' claim that their DVD set contains the complete, raw footage from Apollo 10. If this is true, why are portions documented in NASA's transcript clearly absent in the telecast they sold? What is Mark Gray hiding from? In my bona fide search for the truth, it has become clear that when there is something, anything, that the propagandists do not want you to know about, they absolutely will not show it to you, or even mention it to you, ever. Sadly, we may never know the significance of what Spacecraft Films was excluding. In addition to the Apollo 10 telecasts, when shown the Transparency telecast, Dr. Edgar Mitchell claimed to have recorded a view of the Earth on Apollo 14.
This is, what is this? Oh, this is a shot from 130,000 miles out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's from approaching. It's from approaching the moon, looking back at the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've seen this on a couple of flights. Was this something that you got? Although this is from Apollo 11, did you shoot a shot of the Earth like this?
Mm-hmm.
So you had a TV camera in the spacecraft.
That's correct.
I checked the DVD set released by Spacecraft Films. In total, the Apollo 14 crew filmed only 4 telecasts, 2 on their way to the moon and 2 on their way back. They also shot some 16mm footage. Yet, despite Mitchell's claims, not a single one of them showed a far-off planet Earth. And the booklet that came with the DVD set makes no mention of any such video, even though the back cover claims the set contains all the transmissions filmed on Apollo 14. Given this apparent discrepancy, either Mark Gray or Edgar Mitchell is being untruthful in their stories. If the Apollo 14 crew did indeed shoot telecasts of the Earth, why were they not included on the Spacecraft Films DVD? What are they hiding? On the other hand, if Spacecraft Films are the ones telling the truth, and no such footage existed in the first place, why did Edgar Mitchell tell us otherwise? What is worth noting about the included transmissions is that in the second one, whilst the astronauts float around in zero gravity, we do see the moon outside the window behind them.
Okay, we can see it now. It's right down in the lower right quadrant of the window. The picture, though we send, is a crescent, and it's really not showing too much of the detail yet. Okay, I assume you're zooming the camera now, Ed, and we lost the picture of the moon.
A natural question is obviously raised by this. Why not to the Earth?
Okay, Houston, I got a question. Does that picture fill up your whole screen now? I want to correlate it with our monitor.
Negative. We got about quite a ways to go before we fill up our screen.
But these blatant cuts and edits are not only present in the CSM television footage, oh no, but also in the lunar surface footage. 3 years after his epic journey to the moon on Apollo 10, Gene Cernan would get another trip to the moon. But this time, as commander of Apollo 17, he would get to touch the moon this time. Also this time, Apollo 10 Capcom Jack Schmitt would follow him onto the surface. During their first EVA, they planted the 6th and final flag on the moon.
Cut! Jesus fucking Christ, Neil! How many times do we have to try this? One small step for a man. Not man, a man, and that's you. Everybody take 5. Neil! Practice your fucking line! Oh yeah, let's use real pilots. I want to use real pilots.
Propagandists usually love to argue, why didn't the director just go for a second take when he saw the flag waving? Unfortunately for the propagandists, we can now prove visually that the director did indeed do just that. The flag ceremony, of course, was televised by the lunar rover's onboard remote-controlled camera, called the Ground Controlled Television Assembly. But alas, when it aired